In this video, I'm going to show you some fall vegetables to grow where you can save some cha-ching on your grocery bill. So a couple weeks ago, I showed you guys how to start some veggies from seed so that you could have these size transplants now to go ahead and plant. We're heading into the month of September right now, and the first vegetable I want to show you that you need to be growing this fall is broccoli. So I have a couple varieties here. There's Castle Dome and Lieutenant, and I'm going to pick out this raised bed here to go ahead and grow this broccoli. Now the thing you need to know about broccoli is it enjoys rich, fertile soil. So I am going to be adding some compost with these transplants. And I'm also going to space these about 18 inches to 2 feet apart because broccoli is an upright vegetable. It's going to get about 2 feet tall. It's going to have a nice juicy crown right in the middle. And when you harvest that, keep feeding your broccoli, maybe some fish emulsion fertilizer or something with a high nitrogen count blood meal, because it's going to have offshoots and you can harvest those as well and keep continuing to harvest your broccoli. Now broccoli is a cool season vegetable. That's why we're planting it now going into fall. Sometimes if you have a very hot fall or you're planting them in the early spring and it gets warm too fast, that'll cause the broccoli to go ahead and flower, and it kind of ruins the head. You don't want that happening. So the timing is very important when it comes to broccoli. But I think for our zone, we're gonna nail that. I think this is the perfect time. If you're growing it from seed, you wanna plant at least 85 to 100 days before your first frost. All right, I got my broccoli spaced about 18 inches apart. This is an 8 foot by 4 foot raised bed, and I've got lots of room in the middle here, so I'm gonna plant a companion plant with the broccoli called Swiss chard. Now, if you've never heard of chard before, well, this variety is called Bright Light Swiss chard, and look at these beautiful stems. Swiss chard is so healthy for you. It's full of vitamin A, full of vitamin C, and if you eat this, you're gonna almost instantly be more healthy. But seriously folks, this is so good for you, and Swiss chard does not take up a lot of room, so that's why I'm gonna fit it right down the middle of this raised bed. I'm gonna try to stagger them, space them out about 6 to 8 inches, and then when the leaves get about a foot tall, you can harvest the outside leaves first, leave the inside ones growing, because that's what's gonna keep producing and have it coming on, because this is a cut and come again crop. And then when you cook it, don't cook the stems. Well, if you're eating it raw, I should say, remove the stems because they are kind of bitter. But if you're throwing them in a soup or you're sauteing them, you can leave the stems because that bitterness will reside. All the vegetables I'm going to show you how to grow in this video are going to enjoy a pH around 6.5 to 6.8. And if you're just using an aged manure or compost, potting soil, that's going to get your pH exactly right. For this demonstration, I am going to be using a product from Daddy Pete's that's got a nice blend of stuff like worm castings. It's their premium potting soil, and I'm also going to put a spoonful or a handful of biotone in the hole to get these plants off to a jump start. And I might even mulch around the broccoli to lock in moisture because they do enjoy a lot of water. Again, in case you missed it, you're gonna harvest the outside leaves of Swiss chard. See how this leaf is coming up through the middle? That's the leaf you wanna leave because that's just kind of gonna be the central leader. As they keep sprouting in the middle, you're gonna keep harvesting on the outside. All right, as you can see, I've got a lot of vegetables fit into this one bed. Again, because the Swiss chard is going to stay nice and compact to itself. The broccoli are on the outsides and spaced about 18 inches apart. So this bed is going to look spectacular here in about a month. All right, in this bed is where I have my green beans planted. If you want to watch that video, I did it a couple weeks ago. I planted them from seed. Yes, you can grow some summertime vegetables in the fall. Now on this side, this nice big blank space is where I'm going to be growing Savoy cabbage. I'm going to just plant 4 plants because they do get huge and they love nitrogen. That's why I'm going to put plenty of biotone and compost in the hole, and I'll show you on the next bed when we plant our stonehead what I'm going to do for it. Check this out. This is roots from watermelon. Now, I was growing watermelons in this bed over the summertime, so I know the soil is very depleted. I'm gonna put lots of compost in this one. All right, so in this bed, I'm gonna plant some stonehead and some head lettuce. The stonehead is a nice firm growing cabbage. I think I can fit 6 plants through there, and I think I can fit 6 of the head lettuce through there. Both of them are fairly heavy feeders, so definitely give us some good old compost, some fertilizer, keep that nitrogen level fairly high. That'll cause the vegetation to go ahead and fluff out, ball up, and turn into a head. Now, when it comes to harvesting, make sure that you don't harvest too early. You want to give cabbages and head lettuce a nice little firm push, and make sure that head is not loose. If the head is firm, then you can probably go ahead and harvest, but if it's loose, don't be scared to let that baby grow. So again, I'm going to be spacing these roughly 2 feet apart. That should give them plenty of room. Now let's talk about pests. Cabbages can be known to get pests. Cabbage loopers are very bad. They will get some other things from time to time, but the best way to combat it is with a nice healthy plant. If your plants start off healthy and they're not struggling, you know, you're keeping them watered and fed, that's going to give them a lot of strength to fight off pests. Now, if you do find yourself with aphids, you want to spray with maybe some neem oil, or if you find yourself battling caterpillars or worms, BT spray is a great organic solution. Now, it is going to be a lot more rare to find aphids on cabbage, but you can find them on lettuce. That's a lot more common. And if you do find yourself battling aphids, again, neem oil is great, but what you also have to worry about with lettuce is sometimes slugs, and you can sprinkle around some diatomaceous earth around the stem, and that'll certainly take care of that. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get this hibachi grill going and get these planted. All right, finally we're at the back bed. This is the 12-foot bed. As you can see, I still left my peppers. They're still doing great. I'm gonna leave them growing for most of the fall. And back here, I'm gonna plant some kale and also some cauliflower called Snow Crown. That's a really good variety. They're a little small, but for the sake of the video and getting this done, I'm gonna go ahead and plant them. I'm just gonna be very careful. Now the kale, I'm gonna put along the front here, and I'm only gonna fit about 4 here. They need at least 2 feet because they get huge. And they're also a really great cut and come again crop. Now the cauliflower is just like broccoli. They're gonna love a lot of food, good bit of moisture. You're gonna harvest a central crown. Don't you just love digging in the garden? Like, just to smell the good old aroma of fresh biotone. I just love it. I love planting in my garden. Check out this imperial green spinach, how it's doing. Remember a couple weeks ago when I planted it from seed? It's doing excellent. This is definitely going to be harvesting soon. When the leaves get a little bit bigger, you know it's going in some salads and soups along with that kale and Swiss chard. Look at these collards. I mean, they have went crazy. These are Vates collards. The leaves are like already larger than my hand. You know we're going to be harvesting these soon. And I just love how they look in the garden. I can't believe in just 2 weeks' time how large they have gotten. There you go, folks. Nothing left to do but water and mulch around these plants. I hope this gave you some inspiration to plant a fall garden. Now, if you want to keep track on how these plants are going to do this fall and see some harvesting videos, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Until next time, become a plant person.